Test, test.
Up the party. Executive Tower, sent in 5, 7, 789er, 6, southeast, 1500, inbound Mike.
57, correction, November 17789er, roger, enter a left downwind, runway 17.
Left downwind,
Now to talk to me, can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir, hear you fine.
To talk to me, you got to hold that microphone relatively close.
078.
Yeah, see that this is on. Okay, that's on.
So you couldn't hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, make another right 360, please.
Go in. Another right 360, for Charlie Alpha.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, follow the commander, twin commander, short final, runway 17, clear touching up.
GF Mike. Executive Tower, information Mike, 14530, wind 190 at 10, gust 19, visibility 10, clear below 12,000, temperature 26, 2.19, altimeter 299 2. Visual approach in use, landing and departing runway 17 and runway 13. 5G NOTAMs are in effect, advisories contact GF Mike.
With Mike.
SA 254 Lima, executive ground, runway 17, taxi to the Alpha.
170 to Alpha, 254 Lima.
Executive ground, Twin Beach, 70 Golf Alpha to CAF, taxi for takeoff with Mike.
Twin Beach, 70 Golf Alpha, executive ground, runway 17, taxi to the Alpha.
Alpha to 17, Golf Alpha. Hey, tell me your name again.
Brad.
Brad. I'm Bill.
Let me know if I can do anything for you.
Well, are you a pilot?
No. No. Guess that answers any other question.
Pretty much. I mean, I'm not sure what I'd ask you to do, but
I could read.
no, I just read. I'm down to the part where we do the run-up. I fly so many different airplanes, I always use a checklist if I can.
Right thing to do. Here?
What's that?
I said, is this one yours, and are you...
No, all of these airplanes belong to the Commemorative Air Force. All of them.
You normally fly out of this location, or you somewhere?
I'm a little bit different in that
This information November, current altimeter 2993.
I tour with these airplanes. This is kind of my hobby, and I'll take any of these airplanes out on tour, and we will. I mean, this is our base, but I'll fly them all over the U.S.
I'm not talking loud enough, I guess, sometimes.
Hold it closer to your mouth. That's good enough. I can hear you just fine.
All right. When you mentioned that tour, I'm thinking I got to keep that in mind. That sounds great. Fun for you and us.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, follow the Cessna and cross one ahead.
Traffic ahead, and it's going to be the last one for us to be full stop taxi to parking. 2 Charlie Alpha.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, roger.
And Twin Beach 70 Golf Alpha will be ready to sequence.
Number 70 Golf Alpha, hold short, runway 17, landing traffic.
Hold short of 17 Golf Alpha.
Number 70 Golf Alpha, say departure, say direction of departure.
Yeah, we'd like to do that museum departure, kind of a left turn out overhead, and then we'll go east or south, whichever works for you.
Excuse me, Alpha 5, Alpha departure, 789er.
Number 70 Golf Alpha, runway 17, clear for takeoff, and overfly the museum approved.
All right, left turn over the museum, approved, thank you, sir. And clear for takeoff, Golf Alpha.
Executive Tower 4 Charlie Tango, back to the turn final for runway 17.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, continue through the final, make a right turn, a right 270, back to final for traffic.
Right 270 and back to final for traffic 4 Charlie Tango.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, extend downwind.
Extend up downwind, 2 Charlie.
November 078, make a left 360.
Left 360 for 078. Tower 705, expect 6.5 miles to the southeast and bound for landing.
Number 7058 Quebec, Executive Tower, I think you're southwest, inner right, downwind runway 17.
Right downwind 17 for 58 Quebec. Tower 798 Commemorative, holding short 17 now.
Number 825 Lima, Executive Tower, your hold shorter, runway 17, it's going to be a minute.
I know it's close up.
That was smooth.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, follow the Cessna, turning a 2-mile final, 10 o'clock and a mile and a half, do you see him?
Get down there, sorry, it's Alpha 2 Charlie.
Number 4 Tango, runway 17, clear touch and go.
Runway 17, clear touch and go 4 Charlie Tango.
You want Golf Alpha to go overhead to the southwest?
Whatever you, I've cleared the path, so however you would like to go.
Thank you, sir.
Charlie Alpha, turn base, clear to land, runway 17, number 2.
Turn base, clear to land, runway 17, land at.
Number 825 Fort Lima, runway 17, clear for takeoff, traffic on a mile and a half final.
Clear for takeoff, 825 Fort Lima, runway 17.
November 078, extend downwind, follow an Archer, turning a 2-mile final, number 3.
Extend our downwind, follow the Archer, number 3, 078.
Number 70 Golf Alpha, you have 7058 Quebec, 12 o'clock and about 3 miles inbound at 1800.
Golf Alpha will transition to the southeast part of your airspace.
Okay. Number 58 Quebec, you have Twin Beach traffic, 1 o'clock, and turning southeast wouldn't be a factor, 1 o'clock and a mile and a half.
There's 58 Quebec.
Number 078, turn base, follow the Archer, number 3, runway 17, clear touch and go.
Turning base, 17, clear touch and go, 078.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, go around, make left traffic.
Move around and left traffic 4 Charlie Tango.
You never get a chance to keep still.
Do what?
You're always constantly doing something. You never get a chance to press your hand.
Traffic on a mile.
I don't know, been doing it a long time. Drink coffee?
There you go.
Traffic inside 58 Quebec.
Number 58 Quebec, Roger number 2, runway 17, clear to land.
Number 2, 17, clear to land, 58 Quebec.
Number 2 Charlie Alpha, left on 13, Alpha 3, Alpha to parking.
Left on 13, Alpha 3, Alpha to parking, 2 Charlie Alpha.
You were floating there at the last minute. I started to tell you to turn left on Alpha 4. Couldn't tell you were floating. Thought you'd find that interesting. Number 4 Charlie Tango, follow traffic, short final, runway 17, clear touch and go.
Looking for that traffic and runway 17, clear touch and go.
Number 078, make left traffic.
Left traffic, 078.
Traffic inside 4 Charlie Tango.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, roger. Number 4 Charlie Tango, number 2, runway 17, clear touch and go, make left traffic.
Number 2, clear touch and go, runway 17, and left traffic 4 Charlie Tango.
Hope you don't mind me keep asking you questions.
Not at all, come on.
When and what was the major purpose for
These airplanes? Well, they had several purposes. I'd say the primary purpose for this airplane, that they used it as an instrument trainer. They used it as a bombardier trainer. Some of them had glass noses, and they put a bombardier down here up front, and they, because it was cheaper to fly this around than it was a B-17 or B-24. So, and pilots, they would use instrument trainers. So, after they went through the Stearmans and the T6s and all that, they'd get in this airplane and they'd learn how to fly just using these instruments. Like you'd turn left like this and turn left to heading north, and they'd have a hood on and they'd just look at this, you know. They would do that. They used them as a VIP transport to go from, take some general from here to there, or maybe colonel from here to there. That would probably be the major use for them. They were a multi-engine trainer, so you'd come out of a T6 with only flying single-engine airplanes, and you'd get in this, and that gives you twin-engine experience.
It makes sense. It looks like a mini 24.
A little bit, yeah, it does, a little bit.
With the split tail and or whatever the proper term is.
Yeah, it's a vertical, you know, two tails like that.
What do you think the benefit of having the split tail with two tails as opposed to it's more common today?
Papa Lima, traffic 1 o'clock and 2 miles.
Why did they stop doing that?
I don't know the answer to that, really. I can tell you for the B-24, because I fly that too. They most of these airplanes were tailwheel airplanes, so the tail was on the ground. So the height of the tail was relatively small. When they put the B-24 in, that was a tricycle gear airplane, and if you had a single tail, it would be way on up there and couldn't get it in any kind of a hangar for maintenance.
Oh.
So they said, well, instead of one tail, we'll take two. So they did that. It worked out fine. But then the Navy later on said, well, we want that airplane, the B-24, but we don't want that two-tail thing. We want one tail. So the Navy had some of the two-tail airplanes, and then the Consolidated made it a single tail airplane. They called it a PB4Y. So they have, you can see a Liberator that's got a single tail, and then by that time they said, well, wait a minute. I mean, you have to remember that in World War II we were still learning all about this airplane thing. I know, let's just make the hangars bigger, because look at the B-29.
Yeah.
B-29's got that gigantic tail.
Well, I worked on 141s, and likewise, I thought that was big until the C-5 came in one day. But you're right, you know, yeah. What was the Navy's purpose? What were they so hung up on that they wanted single tail?
I couldn't tell you. But I know that some of those airplanes ended up, the PB4Y2s ended up as fire bombers. So you'll see the only PB4Y that's still flying is out south of Phoenix, and it's a big single tail Liberator, and it's a former fire bomber. In my time, when I was younger, these airplanes were freighters. They haul mail, freight, and there was lots of different operators because they have a big cabin, and they'd fill them full of freight. These were freighters. There were some of them were passenger airplanes, but when I was in high school, college, and then after, if you saw Twin Beach, it was probably a freighter.
51 Joe Hotel Mike, runway 17, clear for takeoff, fly runway heading.
10 Hotel Mike, clear for takeoff, 17, runway heading.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, extend it down 1.5 miles.
Yes, somewhere someone didn't like them too much, they nicknamed it Bucket of Bolts.
It's interesting. I don't really know that part of this one, but that guy that briefed us, if you look at the hangar and it says Vic Agatha hangar, that's Niels. That's his son. When Niels was a little bitty kid, Vic was big in the CAF. He was like the leader of the CAF. And when Niels was a little bitty kid, he rode in this airplane all the time because this was Vic's personal airplane. until he donated it to the CAF. So when it became available, Neil's took it as he sponsors it, and I just happen to be good friends with Neil, so he lets me fly. But that other beach that's sitting there, that's Neil's personal airplane.
Oh, okay.
But he sponsored.
He told me that. And I thought he said that's the one we're going to go on. I said okay.
Yeah.
And then we get outside and you start walking.
I'll have to ask him. I just have never asked how did it get the name Bucket of Bolts? I really don't know. But I can tell you that he has been around this airplane since he was that tall.
That's amazing. Right, it's really nice. The takeoff was smooth. This was.
Well, let's kind of tap the brakes on that until I get the landing. When the landing is smooth, then you can start saying, well, nice flight. But
yeah, I get it.
You just never know.
How do you know what the outside winds are?
I don't. I can tell you what I can do. If I want to do this, I go winds right here, and I put in 1500. I put in 2990. I put in
Angel 78, turn
0.
7, clear touch and go number 2.
Clear number 2, touch and go.
I put in, this is probably 23. Put in, I don't know what my track is. I'm going to say my track is 290. And my heading is 270. Ground speed is, I don't know what my ground speed is.
155?
150. Get data. Winds are out of the south at 54 knots. That's true. I know that's true.
You can feel it.
Well, I flew down here today from my house, and I have an airplane that goes about 170, and I was doing 106. Executive Tower, Twin Beach, 70 Golf Alpha is about 8 to the southeast. Inbound. We like that overhead approach if we can get it.
70 Golf Alpha right now.
Roger.
Golf Alpha, enter a left base from wing 17.
Okay, left base 17, 70 Golf Alpha. And there's downtown Dallas over there.
Through the cloud.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, make right traffic.
Traffic 4 Charlie Tango.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, I always wanted to fly one of these. Really, I just thought they were the coolest airplane. And I never would have dreamed that I'd ever get to do it, but I did.
How were you so involved with planes as a kid? Your dad or?
My dad ran an airport, had spraying, crop spraying, and flight instruction, and...
Well, that'll do it. The only time my dad flew was the day he died. Flew him home.
Oh.
He always said he would never fly. Well, but I always had a strong interest in it as well. Went to the Air Force, got to do maintenance on them.
And the Golf Alpha, there's
I love it. I enjoy it.
7-mile final, if you would, angle for the, I don't know if you can do this or not, but make a right turn for the initial, and to the initial point.
Do you want me to do the overhead or just make a base leg and land?
Well, I've got 5 others inbound, so I'd rather you just land if you can.
I can. What was the plan? I'll make kind of a short base and land.
354 Charlie Tango, make a left 360.
Left 360 for Charlie Tango.
70 Golf Alpha, runway 17, clear to land. Is 190 at 14, gust 22.
Clear to land, 70 Golf Alpha.
Executive Tower 430 Kilo, on the RNAV 17.
Number 430 Kilo, Executive Tower, roger. Number 078, make a left 360.
Okay, we've got a green line. I've got an airplane and everything in the mirror there. Looks good.
Number 4 Charlie Tango, short final.
Yeah, we'll go low on base, 470 takeoff.
All right, the gear's down, flaps down.
Information Oscar, current altimeter 2904.
Still lovely spot.
Left on 13 if you're able, November to Golf Alpha.
I think we'll get it.
Thank you. 4 Charlie Tango, runway 17, clear touch and go.
117, that's equal 4 Charlie Tango.
Number 0 Golf Alpha, 13 Alpha 2 Alpha to parking.
13 Alpha 2 Alpha Bar.